last night. Shift change. It's end of the night. Time to go home. Smoko's here. Let's get this day done and dusted. Welcome back to all you. Hope you're all well. Some news. We'll get straight into it. Get it all done and dusted. Last night, it's the best night of the swing. We get to all go home in the morning. Everyone's run out of juice. Just stay safe, get through the night, get our jobs done, and go. It's smoko time, so that means we're not far away. So really, really good. Can't wait to get home and see the fans. Okie doke. Start off some fun stuff first. Don't know if you got to see it on the news. Not sure if it was on normal telly. I don't watch that. Trump went to Game 5 of the World Series, and they did like the opening announcements and stuff like that. They had some American troops there that they were introducing, which was fantastic. They're normally pretty proud of, obviously, their armed forces, which is pretty cool. Big announcement, all that, and then over the big screen you could see sort of these veterans there that are there, and everyone's cheering and clapping, and the place is getting pumped up and ready for Game 5. And then Trump had turned up. Was in a private suite with all his mates, and the whole crowd, so it would have been at least 45,000, 50,000 people, just went into full boo mode and like just caned him. It was absolutely hilarious. There was signs up, and then straight after that they got into lock him up, a full chant around the stadium. Yeah, it was pretty piss funny. Generally they say that, and I've seen it before, when presidents go to a game, they generally get them to throw out. He wasn't even invited to do that. I don't think if someone didn't have a private suite that he could get to, there's no way he would. I don't think they would have even let him get into the game. It was pretty darn funny, and a little bit of something, a bit of payback, I think, from what he's getting now. He's copping a lot of heat, and there's a lot of people unhappy with him, especially in that area, considering he lives and works in Washington. They're not happy at all with him. So yeah, it was pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, get on YouTube and watch it. It's pretty cool. It goes from like cheering to just boo. They recorded the sound. It was over 100 decibels in the stadium, the booing. So that's pretty good, considering it's like a darker note. Baseball tomorrow, Nationals, Astros, Game 6 World Series. It's in Houston. Verlander's up against Strasbourg. It's going to be a huge game. Verlander hasn't won a game in the World Series. He's 0-5. So he's going to be coming strong. Like, he's got a lot to prove. The last game he threw, I think he was pretty disappointed with himself. He's done so well for the year, over 300 Ks. He's the first pitcher, all-time leader with 200 Ks in playoffs. In the postseason, so he's a fantastic pitcher, great guy. He's going to be coming hard, but they've got to go up against Strasbourg, who has been on fire, and there's another amazing pitcher, 2 number 1 aces in any other organisation. So yeah, it's going to be huge. He's got a 1.34 career ERA in the postseason, and 1.93 this year. So he's on fire. Verlander's hungry for it. He wants it bad. Worst case, Houston get to play Game 7. So we don't lose as fans. We don't get to really lose out here. Game 6 and Game 7 are the best 2 games of baseball you'll ever see in your life. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully I get a chance to watch a bit of it when I get home. Once I fly home, it's probably going to be all over by the time I get there. But it's going to be, should be around 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock in the morning. Set your watches. Huge. I'm sort of predicting Astros with that home crowd, the way the boys have been hitting lately. Bregman's back on. Springer got a home run in the last game. He's essential. I'm going to throw my random prediction out. I think Correa's going to come out and hit a blinder. He's struggled all postseason. He's due. Last year he was one of the guys that was instrumental in getting the win, so I've got a funny feeling he's going to come out and have a blinder and get them another World Series ring. Washington needs to bounce back. They need to hit, and they're going up against one of the best in the business, and they've got a big mountain to climb. going to be an awesome game. It should be low scoring, but we never know. It's sort of been hit and miss. It's either been stuff all runs or blowouts. So hopefully it's a close game at least. That would be good for all our spectators. So yeah, 8 o'clock roughly around that time in Australia, depending on where you are. About 8 o'clock for Perth, or just around then. So yeah, check it out. World Series Game 6. The founder of Red phones, or Red cameras, movie cameras, they film. A lot of YouTubers, the big guys use them, the 6 and 8K versions. They had the hydrogen phone, which didn't really go as well as anticipated. I actually hoped it would. The vision I sort of see the next sort of the way they're going with cameras. I think Red had that similar vision. There's sort of mock-ups of what it possibly could have been, and I think they had it right that they, in the back of a phone, they put a sensor, like a mirrorless sensor, like a crop APS-C sensor in the back of the phone with some sort of a mount, and you can put like a wide angle, a proper camera lens onto it, or mount it onto there. There's a couple of mock-ups. I'll chuck one in the thumbnail for the video. You'll see. And I thought that would have been the way to go. It's great having 3 little cameras, but if you could put like real glass onto a phone, then you could call it a pro, and then you could really do some amazing things. And I think the camera market would really be scared, because basically all a camera is just that lens with the electronics in it, and the sensor and the controls. The new phones, like I think, the new OnePlus T, the McLaren versions, 12 gigabyte of RAM, 500 gigabyte of storage. Like these things, the tech specs on these new phones blow these cameras out of the water, apart from the megapixels. So I can't see, I think at some point they got to merge, and I think I said it the other day, you'll probably see like an Apple with a Sony or a Canon buy out. These big phone companies will either buy out or merge with these camera companies and become one, and sort of a duo thing. And I apart from the battery, because you need a big battery, like you might see the phones become thicker. But even if it was a thicker phone, like the thickness of the phone doesn't really matter when it's going in your pocket. It's the actual size and width and height that sort of pisses you off. If it was a little bit, even if it was like half an inch, or you could still put it in your pocket easily. Some sort of mount where you could just screw on a mirrorless, like the Canon EOS M range, like my M50, that lens, one of those lens ranges. Signet just brought out their 3 new primes for that, so they'd be fantastic. They're small enough you could just mount it on, and you could go there and put a proper glass onto it. You imagine the quality of iPhone pictures then, or even the others, your 1Ts and all these ones. It'd be amazing. I think it'd be really, really cool. Unfortunately, the founder of Red, and that's where I started this little spiel, he's retiring. He's had enough. He's 70 years old. He's done so much in his time, so he's canned the hydrogen phone. So it's the next one that they were talking about, the release of it coming out. It ain't going to happen. They're still going to support the old phones, the first series, but that's where it all ends. It's a real shame. It'd be nice if one of these other companies picks up on it and maybe buys their phone division out and then takes it on board and goes that way. Maybe Huawei does it. They need all the help they can get. The perfect time for them to jump on board, pay Red out for their rights to do that and bring out what I just talked about. So that would be pretty cool. So yeah, he's done a great job. Congrats to him. He's retired. Good on him. He's an Australian guy, so that's really cool. So that's big up for us. The Red cameras are huge everywhere nowadays. You see him on YouTube all the time. So he's done an amazing job. He should be pretty proud of himself. So, but yeah, those phones are pretty much done and dusted. Yeah, so maybe we might see it. I don't think my little vision, I think where it's going, maybe 5 years away now instead of a couple of years. New TV series Disney Channel's bringing out for you Star Wars fans. Mandalorian comes out on November the 12th. It's basically a new and improved Boba Fett. It's all about bounty hunters and stuff like that. It's a TV series, looks pretty high quality. It's on the Disney Channel. I don't even think we get that in Australia, I'm not sure. I think that's part of their new streaming service. I know when you'd have to buy to get to it, but if you're a Star Wars fan, which I'd like to see it, but I'm not going to pay just for it, unfortunately. So, but that is coming out. It does look pretty good. There are some the new videos and previews are out. You can check that out online. And last but not least, new AirPods Pro, the little white things that you see everyone walking around with, ignoring everyone on trains and buses and all through the cities nowadays. They've got the new Pro that's just dropped today. That's released, mega expensive, $400. Another $50 if you want Apple Care, which obviously they don't promote that part. So $450 basically. It's got silicon buds in it now, so you can adapt for the different sizes, which I think was a good idea because the old ones I can't use because they hurt your ears because they're too hard. And there's a lot of people like me. And also I have concerns how they fall out. I've got the over-the-ears ones, I've got the big wing nuts, so I sort of and get the ones that hang over. I know it's definitely not going to fall off these wings. So yeah. Basically noise cancelling. What else? You got 4.5 hours of listen time, 3.5 hours if you're talking on the phone. So I've got my notes here. Noise cancelling. It's got adaptive equalisation they're talking about, and apparently that somehow measures your ear canal and adjusts the noise to suit. It's got transparency mode, so you can sort of tap it, and it's all touch thing to do everything on it. Transparency mode, so you can sort of still hear the music but hear outside, which is probably good if you're walking down the street so you don't get run over by a car, or if you're at work or whatever, if you're on a plane, so you can hear the safety talks and people and stuff like that. So that was pretty good. Still, it does have lightning to USB, so they charge by lightning, but it's still USB on the other end, so they still haven't changed that. Bluetooth 5.0, so they join up the same way as the old AirPods, which is a really good system, so that was good. So 3 sizes for those silicon tips that go on the end. Yeah, basically there was the Beats Pro come out, which is owned by Apple now. They've got the over-ear version. This is the in-ear version. So and they are noise cancellation. They're actually, I think, $50 cheaper, the Beats Pros. And if I was going to buy one, I'd buy them. These are still little plastic things that just stick in. They could easily fall out if you have a hit or something like that. If you're running, I wouldn't risk it for the price. I'm not sure what it costs to buy just one individual one to replace one if you did lose it. But yeah, case is a little bit wider. Pretty much the same thing, but noise cancellation and this transparency mode, and that's about the only real thing to it. They do look a little good. I think they've got smart going the silicon because they were cutting out a lot of people that don't like those hard plastic ones on the inside. So that was good. They'll sell pretty well, but $450, that's a lot of noise cancellation. And I think mostly noise cancellation, most of the guys, you've still got your Bose's that you see on the planes. They've been 10 years, they've been leaders in that, so it's going to be tricky. All depends on what you want, and obviously if you're an Apple, it obviously works well within the system, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do sell at that price. That's about it. Another swing done and dusted, home time, family, sisters coming to see me this weekend, so that's going to be awesome. Always great to catch up with family and friends. Week off to recover before I come back. Haven't got much to give me smokers, got to go get a quick feed before I get back to work, and yeah, stay safe this week. I'll see you all anyway tomorrow night on the normal vlog, but I'll be home in the shed. Thanks for stopping past, hope you're all well, hope your Tuesday went well. World Series, Game 6 tomorrow, don't miss it, like I'm probably going to. I think I can watch the start from the airport, but I'll see you all soon. Go the Astros. That's who I'm picking, Astros. Yeah, it's going to happen. See ya.